Hey, it's Aaron Ross, and this is the first video I promised as part of the unveiling of Predictable University. Now, something I've watched grow exponentially in the last few years, since predictable revenue came out, is this now called the response rate red herring. And it's sort of this competition between different companies and people for who has the highest email response rates. It could be other types of outreach, phone messages, but I'll explain why this is a total distraction. Even though I sort of helped start this, because in predictable revenue I wrote, I got the 7 to 9% response rate. But all right, let's take one-to-one personalized messages, and let's just stick to emails now. A lot of people say they'll get 25%, 50% response rates. Great. So let's say that you write 4 emails, and most people, let's say you do get a 25% response rate. Some get higher, some get lower. Now that means with 4 emails, 25%, you might get 1 response. Let's just call it a response. But let's say that takes you an hour, okay? And I'm going to get to this breakthrough I've had the last few months. Now, contrasting that would be, let's call it templates or mass approaches, where you might send 100 messages and maybe get a 2% positive response rate. Again, could be higher, could be lower, just picking one, which means you're getting 2 responses in that time. And all right, between updating a list or helping and sending, let's say that you're going to take 2 hours. Now hold on here. 25% response rates have to be way, way, way better than 2%, right? That's like 12 times a 12 times improvement. But it's the time, because if it takes an hour to someone to do a personalized or semi-personalized custom or one-to-one approach versus sending a mass approach, which could take this much time, you're coming up with here's the new metric that really I think I'm trying to get people to understand, which is I call it response rate throughput. In both cases, you're getting 1 response per hour. Right? It's the same. And I want you to understand is that high response rate approaches aren't necessarily better than low response rate, and low response rate mass approaches aren't necessarily worse or better than this. Sometimes this works better, sometimes this does, and I see people getting way too prescriptive, and they freaking obsess about response rates, and they're not looking at the entire funnel. They're so obsessed on response rates, they're not looking at what's really going to produce, like a manufacturing line, the most output at the end of the month or at the end of the quarter. You know, what's going to create something that's predictable and scalable, not just for 3 weeks or 3 months, but for 3 years. And by the way, it's not going to be any template or script. It's about the knowledge and the fundamentals that go into the team and the people on the team that can adapt. They're not, again, not be robots, but they know how to use this approach. They know how to use this approach to get what they need to do. So, again, your assignment is to do nothing except absorb this, and then stay tuned for the next video in the series here, again, on unveilingpredictableuniversity.com.